for coming today. My name is Miss Amanda. If you don't know me, I'm set up so you can see my face. And then I also have Russell here with me for so you can see my hands, so you can see how to make the lanyard itself. So I want to start by saying we're going to mute everybody. That way it stays on me and you guys can listen. This is also going to be recorded, so it'll be available after. So if you want to watch and listen and you don't really understand how to do it, you can always rewatch it. All right? And then right before we get started, I also want to say that there is no right way to do a lanyard. There's no wrong way to do a lanyard, but there are certain ways to do things. So if you want your lanyard to come out looking a certain way, you're going to want to follow the video because I'm going to need this room here. All right? We have a couple different bracelets or keychains we're going to learn to do today. This is your most classic one. We see this a lot over at Croydon Hall. A lot of kids like to make this one. This is your box keychain. And then this one's very similar, but I like to call this a lighthouse spiral because it spirals like some lighthouses have stripes on theirs. We different, but you can see how I actually have a spiral staircase in my house. It goes straight up to the attic, which is really cool. So this kind of looks like that. And then we also have, if you have beads at home, we have beaded bracelets. All right? But we're going to start first by starting one of these. All right? So I know that a lot of my campers last year would come running over and they'd ask me to start it for them. So I'm teaching you guys so that way you can start it and you can teach everybody else to start it as well. You're going to need your 2 pieces of lanyard. You don't need to have the keychain with it, so you don't need the keychain. You're going to want 2 pieces of string. So I have my yellow and I have my pink. The easiest way to start this is to put one piece down straight like this, and then the other piece, you cross it and you make a T or a plus sign, or whatever you want to call this, a T or a plus sign. All right? Now, this is where it's sometimes, if you're having trouble, you can always ask a grown-up or you can ask somebody to hold it flat for you. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to start, I'm going to start with my yellow pieces and I'm going to fold over the other way. So I fold over like this. All right? So it's a bit of a zigzag. All right? And I'm going to push down on that. Lanyard is really nice to use because you can kind of bend it and it'll stay, whereas other things like paracord or string or floss doesn't usually stay. So you want it to look like that. Then we're going to do the same thing, but this time with the pink. So I have my yellow like that, and then I'm going to take my pink, and this side of the pink, the side closest to me, I'm going to go over and then under. And it's going to lie like that. And then the side away from me, the side away, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go over this one and under this one. So over this and under this. And then I'm going to pull it. Just a little. Now, the first stitch is a little sketchy, so what we're going to do, so what we're going to do from here is then we are going to pull on all the sides at the same time. And it's tricky, so take your time, and if you have trouble, then you can always ask a friend or ask a parent, and they might be able to help you. So pull. Like I had trouble right there. And that's okay. I just try again. and then I pull. And when I pull all of them, what will happen is it will make a box. All right, see how I have a box here? You can also flip it over, and this is a little cross. So if you're putting a keychain on this side to be the bottom, all right, because it has a little loop, so you can put it on later, all right? So once we have these 4, then you're just going to repeat exactly what you did, but it gets a little easier. So I'm gonna start with my yellow pieces again. This piece crosses over, so it looks like I have 2 loops. And then my pink, they're gonna go over and under, over and under. And then when I pull that, I'm gonna pull all 4 sides again, and it gives me another box. And you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over. Now, if you're watching this with me right now and you're having a hard time doing this, that's why we're recording it, because you're gonna wanna rewatch it, and then you can pause it and say, whoa, 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 I didn't do that right, let me try again. So you just keep going and going. So, the same thing. I'm gonna do one more, over and over, 2 little loops. And then I'm going to go over and under. And then over and under. And then I'm going to pull them tight.
I haven't lost my touch.
Good. It comes right back. Awesome. So as you guys can see, we've done a few, right? And it's starting to look like a little chunker right there. And if you keep going and going and going, this. So it's just the same, but you just keep going. All right? So that's our first one. Okay, that's the box. It's classic. A lot of people like to make the box. It's fun to do. Even while you're watching TV or doing something like that, just hanging out, hands and your brain something to do while you're watching TV or while you're hanging out. So that's our first one. The second one we're going to do, all right? So it's very similar to the box, and it starts the same way. So as soon as you can start your box, you can also start one of these. The only difference is that it's going to twist and spiral. So, like I said, I like to call that one the lighthouse. So, if you already have your box started, we can continue from there. And remember how when we were doing the box, we went over and over? This time, we are going to go diagonal. So instead of being up and down and this way, both of them. So I'm going to start with my pink ones this time. And instead of going across, I'm going to go diagonal. All right? So it should go to the corner. And then this one is going to go diagonal, and I'm going to go to the, and the same as with the box, then we're going to pull these. Or maybe I messed it up. I'm going to do it again because sometimes things get tricky. They are the hardest ones, but that's because I don't do them all the time. And I bet you if I did them more, they would. This, I think we got disconnected. Are we good? Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome. Okay. So the next one we're going to do is going to look like this. And it's going to be a little easier to start. Okay? You can either start this by putting a piece of tape. So one of my tips is sometimes I use a piece of tape like this to start it. You can also use a clipboard to start. I don't know my pictures. I'm going to use this color. I don't know if any of you received this color in your boxes, but we have, actually that one has clear. Well, it has instead. So I have pink and I...
Your hands. I can't see your hands.
Oh,
Yeah, it's supposed to be that one.
let me see. Oh,
Oh, hold on, video.
start.
I don't have any video for your.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. You need a walkie-talkie.
There you go.
How? Oh, let me flip it. Switch camera. Good? Thank you. I'm working off 2 devices so that way you can see me. All right. So I think you guys can see my hands and still hear me. So I'm going to use these 2 colors to do my staircase, my spiral staircase. All right. And this is really easy to start. You take both strings and guess what? You tie a knot. So you turn it over, pinch through, and you pull. And boom, you started your knot already. Isn't that much easier? I think so. So like I said, you can use a piece of tape to tape it down, or you can put it on a clipboard, which is what I'm doing now. I have tied lanyard to my water bottle to start it. I have tied lanyard to my keys. I've tied lanyard around my big toe. You can tie it anywhere that's going to hold it. So when we do a staircase, we're going to, it's the same knot over and over and over, and you only work with 1 string. So I like this one because I think everyone can do it. So I'm going to work with my green string, or bluish teal string, and I'm going to leave my pink one nice and flat. I'm going to make a 4 over my pink string. Do you guys see that 4? Or maybe it looks like a sail, right? So I'm going to make a 4, and then I'm going to take the end of my green string and go under my pink and pull it up. All right? And after I pull it up, then I can tighten it. And that's 1. Then I'm going to make another 4, just like this. I'm going to go under and up. I'm going to pull, and then that's 2. And guess what? I'm going to go and go and go. When you get really, really good at this, you don't even have to look at it, and instead of taking the end, you can pinch through like this. All right, but I find that when I start out, or when I haven't done it in a long time, I like to start with the end. So make my 4, take the end, come up through, and pull. All right, and you can see that it's a little more bunchy than the box, and it's starting to twist. Now, if we look at this one, we'll see there's more than 1 color, right? So to switch colors, guess what? All you have to do is switch the strings. So I'm going to leave my teal one down, and with the pink one, you guys guessed it, I'm going to make a 4. That's a lopsided 4. I'm going to make a 4, and then I'm going to take the end of the pink, and I'm going to come up through. All right? And you can do that over and over again. I'm going to do 1 more. Pink, 4,
That's what I did.
up, under,
No, but I did it several times.
and then pull.
I did it several times.
I can't mute them anymore.
Tell him to mute himself.
All right. Now, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys some different ways you can put beads. So you got beads with your shark's tooth necklace, and you probably use them already for your necklace for the shark's tooth, which is great. But I'm going to ask everyone real quick if you can mute yourselves just to make sure that you can see how to put these beads on, because they can be a lot of fun. Now, I have this tray of beads, all right? A real simple, easiest way is after you tie a knot, you can just take a bead and stick it up through, and you could do 1 bead. So you can put a bead on the side. The thing about putting a bead on one thing of lanyard is that you can make a double bead. So I'm going to choose this pretty pearl color, and I'm gonna put a bead on my teal one. So now I have 2 beads right next to each other, and they can hang out. You can have one above the other, but you want to make sure that after you put a bead on, you do your 4, you pull through, and then you keep them in place so that way they don't go anywhere. All right, so that's one way to put a bead on. Another way to put a bead on, and I like this way a lot, is you take your bead and you need both ends of your lanyard, all right, of your string. So I have both ends, and I have my orange bead, I put my pink in one direction a little bit, and then I put my teal in the other direction a little bit, and then it's almost like magic because you pull, and you pull, my lanyard's still really long, and you pull, and you wind up with it looking like this. And I really like how that looks. And then you can just tie a knot under like you're tying your shoes, and it lays nice and flat. So I really, really like to put my beads on like that. But you can put them on however you want. And then of course, the last one is you can put a bead on all of your strings. So if you hold it up, both strings, and I'm gonna have a yellow bead this time, and I'm gonna put my pink and my teal through the yellow. And I'm gonna pull, and then they're both gonna be there, all right? And then of course you need to tie your knot after. It could either be your 4, or it could be whatever knot you wanna tie to keep it in place. So there's a bunch of different ways to tie a knot. That's pretty much what I have for you. I do like to use a piece of tape, like I said, or a clipboard, but sometimes that helps. You can also do these things with hemp or with string, but I really like using lanyard because if I make a mistake, I can just undo it really easily. Or if I change my mind, I'm like, ooh, I don't like that yellow bead anymore, I can just undo a knot and it comes out really, really easily. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is if anybody wants to share what they made, or if you didn't make anything yet, that's fine. If you'd like to share who you're making your keychain for, or what color keychain you're making, I would love to hear all about it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sign out with this one. So Russell says he'll see you on the other side. And I'm going to close this one. And then I'm going to open this one. Can you guys hear me? Oh, all right. So if you have anything you want to share, or even the color of your keychain, or who you're going to make your keychain for, or which one was your favorite, I want to hear all about it. So I guess I'll have you raise your hand if you want to share something, and if you don't want to, that's fine too.